Come on, give the little tyke a break. The dead welcome him with open arms. The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. You don't much care to see him, not like this. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. Someone who ain't like Mr. Beckley and his kindly wife. It was someone like him. Kid sees him there agape, in the flesh. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. He's got so many questions after all. Ain't got time for answers. The Thunder brothers didn't make it. They never saw what it was like beyond the walls. Nordy the bird boy didn't make it. The Jawsons, they didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr., they didn't make it. But him, he survived. Kid finds proof enough that man ain't from around here. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? Core survives as well. Kid does what he has to do. What do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. We have to go. Please. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zolf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Ceylondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind, both to him and to each other, for the first time. We fought the Ura decades ago, but that was then. Things are different between us now. For Zolf, Ceylondia was like a second home. He's real worried about his first home, too. Far to the east. We all lost loved ones in the calamity, he says. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without mine. Zolf offers to help me plot the skyways for the kid. At least the calamity hasn't touched the stars, he says. He was born in the Tazzle terminals. The Ura sent him on a mission of peace to our city, and he's lived here ever since. The cores, they remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be all right. Well, look what we have here. The lost and found. Here, kid takes fragments of the old world and makes them whole again. Takes us some fragments, and the Bastion makes it good as new. We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the city. No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either. Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Pith Orchard. Place is a dead end in more ways than one. Well, the gods are long gone now, and the Orchard core is long gone too. Seems Pith ain't much of a watchdog. The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god. Kid gives that old bull what's coming to him. Pith stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration. He couldn't even save his loyal subjects. Pith makes a decent scarecrow, at least. Then Pith lights up like a rodeo. Ain't easy punching through his hide. Kid breaks him to bits. Must have been guarding that shrine. So what'll it be? Invoke the gods? Or tell them off? Piv. Kid decides to press his luck. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Seen windbags that quick. Maybe old Pith put a scare in him. Kid passes Pith's trial, and he's richer for it. Kid ain't found a core. At least he found Zolf's precious shrine. Now we can build a shrine of our own, though I got some alternatives in mind. Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy. Turn him round and round all you like. Pith's still gonna be ugly. The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls. There's only one way to cinder brick fort. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. Mercy, normal folks. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze, or starve, or face the kid. Well, windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. Calamity drove the windbags topside. A lot of them wound up here in this very fort. Could have been minding the business underground like in the old days. can't use the marshal's supplies, but the kid sure can. As for the windbags, Cinder Brick gave them enough heat and metal to munch on for a while, but the fort ain't theirs by right. Can't blame them for wanting it, though. The windbags put the kid on notice. So many of those sorry things holed up inside that old fort. Not a scratch on him as he presses on the high ground. Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. Kid ain't afraid of getting burned. They trapped the kid in the middle of the force parade grounds. Scumbag uncles. They got something to gain, only their sorry hides to lose. Takes down Ludus. Maybe it was landed. The windbags finally get the message. getting a marshal's badge, but not like this. The Skyway's a welcome sight after all that. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Ulf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Seems the only thing the Calamity saved for Zulf was a smoking pipe. Poor kid collapses after just one drag. The past. Only good thing ever come out of the past is history. Catches up with a kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life, supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there. School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. What was that saying? Anyway. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too. The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either. So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Caelondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls. Out there, kid learned to fend for himself, learn to build, learn to break. Wait, where was I? In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart. He saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that. Past don't matter for nothing now. Zolf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this. The marshals seem like good men, he says. They treated him with dignity. Zolf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals. Anything survives a musket shot ought to be quick work for that blade. Squirt cider will toughen you right up. Too bad about the musty aftertaste. Even since the Ura surrendered to us, the marshals kept a wary eye on him. War machetes are so quick, you gotta keep a good grip on them. You want to tune a scrap musket, you start with the barrel. The memorial. Here a kid can pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind. The valediction. Just another one of my sketches. Nothing more. Words can't express what happened, but they're all I got. Kid takes another drag, goes out like a light. There's something you should know about the kid, but let me take it from the top. Catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life, supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there. School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too. What was I saying? Anyway. The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either. So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Ceylondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls. Out there, kid learned to fend for himself. Learn to build. Learn to break. kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart. He saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that. All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back. Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him. Well, he finally arrived at Ceylondia's vaunted safe haven. He and no one else. But then, all they got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name. Wait, where was I? justice. They seemed unstoppable. The marshals learned to pack those shells full of fire. Ever felt a soul would gourd, like picking up broken glass barehanded? At Zolwood Grove, marshals learned to make every shot count. The trick was to pop all those nasty gourds without wasting ammo. Most marshals didn't get far on their first few tries. Catch a bunch of those gourds in a single shot. Funny thing about muskets is they work best up close. It took a keen eye, not an itchy trigger finger. Kid takes a little personal time for just him and his favorite musket. Plenty of gourds to go around, even now. Marshals like to fine-tune their muskets to get better results. Best of the best cleared the course in just a few shots. Kid probably could have made himself marshal one day. The city's unwanted things all met their end in the yard. Folks who fouled up would do their time here, smashing things to bits. The quicker they worked, the sooner they could go. Folks learned to plant their feet and put their backs into it. navigate that sea of junk. A good day smashing can feed a family for a week. Ever want to just smash things for a while? You know where to go. The Langston River flowed free and wild till the calamity drank it all up. Maybe all that water just grew wings and flew off. The riverbank swarming with windbags. They're so bent on finding the core, they hardly notice the kid. Lucky for him, a certain famous ferry barge is still afloat. Weepin' Nellie. She'll send some squirts crying home as she leaves port. Maybe Nellie knows the way to the core. Maybe she can slip right past all the clamor on the coast. Or maybe not. A security skiff pulls up portside. Nellie's just another windbag to those guns. Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing with. They're pretty steamed about what happened at Cinderbrick. They try to cut her off. They try to slow her down. They try to knock her out. Well, Weepin' Nellie tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's gotta help her get untangled. Favors for favors. At least she picked a good spot for a break. The core's right there. Then the kid hears an unusual sound, like 100 flapping wings. Peckers. They've been watching his every move. They had their own eyes on the core. Why? Well, kid ain't got time to think it over just yet. He finds Weepin' Nellie raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise for when the waters get rough. She's gonna need a little help with all them peckers. Crafty things think they're king of the roost now. Rest of us only wish we could fly in times like these. keep on coming to starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something. Kid almost falls again. Windbags getting even better in here. They aim to smash with the county splinters. That all proves too much for poor Nellie. She's just gotta make one last stop. With her last breath, Nellie gets the kid to solid ground. Solid ground in beggar country. Seems the calamity ain't hurt the beggar's appetites. They want that coal real bad. Might be they want it just as bad as a kid. Kid shoos them off, knowing they'll be back. Know how many times kid nearly fell off the barge back there? 4 times. Now, listen close. You should remember this next part. Why go to Prosper Bluff? Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far. The city was the most beautiful place in the world. We all knew that. But on the other hand, some folks just yearn to see the things they're told they can't. And that's why you go to Prosper Bluff, ain't it? There the kid hears something he ain't heard in a long while. How's it go again? Yeah, that's the one.
Build that city on a hill. Build that city on a hill. on a hill. Come build that city on a hill. Someday those tears are gonna spill. So build that wall and build it strong.
Well, no point explaining what happens next, right? Suffice it to say, kid ain't coming home empty-handed.
Come build that wall up to the sky. Come build that wall.
And besides, it's like the song goes.
Someday your bird is gonna fly.
They'll be here before too long. We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we? Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow her again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find. A scientific journal written in Zolf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much. If only I'd known half the secrets of the Calamity were tucked away in that book, I'd have worked to translate it right away. Most of the Ura never got a taste of Ceylondia's fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here. Sure, the world's all gone to pieces farther than the eye can see. But leave it to this gal to point out the amazing view. Girl tried to run away from home one time, but the marshals stopped that, didn't they? So many secrets in there and she can't even read it. Her father's own journal. To master the musket, you gotta get rid of the recoil. Kid ain't finished here yet. Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either. Behold, the Pantheon. A Kobe. We track the final core beyond the city to the wilds. The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it. You know what's better than having a slinger pistol in a fight? Having two. Savage things lurking at every turn. Pincushions ain't the worst of it either. Good thing pin cushions can't see where they're shooting. Pecker's got the core, like they're building a Bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect to get so soon. The wilds drag him down. They shouldn't have let their guard down. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another. He digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. Wallflowers survived the calamity. It toughened him up. Same goes for the kid. Let's take it real slow when pincushions are afoot. Slinger Jawson's old outpost is all that's left of him. Kid sticks to his old standbys. Don't ever turn your back on a pincushion. A handful of windbag shipments made it out this far. Kid's seen the last of them. Kid's roused up half the wild by now. Kid gets the feeling he's being watched. Not by me, by a lunkhead. And lunkheads ain't fond of two-legged animals. Hit him anywhere but the hindquarters and he only make him mad. The calamity must have scrambled their eggs. The wilds already reclaimed this place. Kid learned the hard way not to touch those things. Hardly any signs of the old Jawson camp. He's anxious to get back. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right? Well, no, it ain't. Not by a long shot. Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The calamity failed, he says, but I will not. And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone. Zolf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me, said he was going home. When Zolf got through reading that journal, he just snapped. Started smashing up the monument till I tried to stop him. Zolf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put her back together. The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health. The city brought the shards to the wilds. Now the kid's gonna bring them back. The accused always got a fair shake in Zealandia. Some used to take the bullhead trial. Survive the trial without taking a scratch, and walk away a free man. Trial taught folks three things. First, a good defense is a good offense. Second, gotta always watch your back. Third, ain't no godlike bull up there gonna save you. Knew when to just step aside and let things go. Court is back in session for the kid. Old ritual for when folks believed there was this godlike bull watching over them. Had to make do with nothing but a shield. Well, a kid always wanted to compete in the bullhead trial. After Zolf's little episode, kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back. Well, I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? Zolf put us in a real bind. Hurt the Bastion bad. But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the core's medicine. Shame the only place to fill that prescription is out here in the wilds. This place is intoxicating. Don't know where he's gone. Might be gone for good for all I know. Wherever he is, somewhere I've never been. Somewhere I never want to go. The dead welcome him with open arms. Kid pops up good. Better survivor? No, ma'am. It's a lonesome ghost of a gas fella. What do you say to a kid who's seen too much? I'm Zolf of the Ura. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Now the kid sees something stranger still. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds peckers, lunkheads, wallflowers, pincushions, vine apples, swamp weeds, ankle gators. There's no way out. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. Kid sets foot inside one of Ceylondia's famous watering holes. Just gonna have to straighten him out. He's a petty thief. Succeeds where the calamity failed. Would you look at what he did to poor old Ronde the bartender? Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. It's so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world's alright, snoozing there on a rock in the sky. He wakes up. I'm just fooling. He sees what's left of the rippling walls, years of work undone in an instant. He sees what's left of Pith the bull. gods. They're all undone. He sees what's left of his lifelong friend. His friend, he's come undone too. He sees what's left undone. Thought we'd lost him, but he finally comes to. The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole. Bootlickers dig their nasty thorns into his heels. Ever heard of a lung blossom? It's bigger than the stories say. The breath on that thing, like a scumbag sprung a leak. Say one whiff of lung blossom and make you lose your mind. Well, the kid prunes it down the sides somehow. Mother only knows what happened in the bog. Kid never much cared to speak of it. A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place. The shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection. Cinder brick style sure goes down smooth, then stays in your gut like a rock. Finders keepers. The city tried to use the shards to stake out the wilds. So much for that plan. We have to think fast to survive the wilds, and none thought faster than the slingers. They could shoot their pistols with the speed of a machine. They knew just when to start shooting and when to stop. Those pistols could spit out rounds just as quick as you could pull the trigger. Learning to hold your fire can be its own challenge. Slingers were much quicker than the average pistolier. Well, even the slingers weren't quick enough to escape the calamity.